like it. Welcome back to the morning show. I'm your host, CJ, with my other host, Claire. Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. Good. Stressed, but we'll figure it out.
That's
We'll
gonna be fun.
figure out the internet thing. Guys, we're going to Columbus, and I finally got away to look at the cost of things, and all of a sudden it was like, internet's going to cost $20,000. I think Ben's going to kill me. And since he doesn't watch the podcast, we could talk about it here. So I'm hoping that we're just misreading the internet purchase menu there. So
CJ just needs a little bit of therapy. Someone just console him.
Oh my God. Anyways, so all right. If you guys are looking to compete anytime soon, make sure to join or look into Koda Iron Games presented by WODprep. Claire will be emceeing. I wrote it. And it's in October 4th and 5th. We have Masters divisions. We have RX divisions, scaled, all teams of 3, male and female. So if you're looking to compete and you're in the Midwest, this is the best competition in Colorado and the biggest. And we actually pay out our prizes, unlike other Colorado competitions. So
what a dig.
Yep.
Yikes. And the people who host it are amazing. And yeah, it's a great spot. I mean, Colorado's beautiful. Yeah.
Who's Claire? Who is Claire?
Would you like me to answer that right now? When is Claire? I don't even know. By the way, let's see. Jody, good morning. Who is Claire? I'm an MC in this space. That's why I got asked here, I think.
What does MC mean?
MC, that you are I think what it stands for, Master of Ceremony, I believe.
Yeah. But isn't it spelled EMCEE?
It's it's spelled both ways. And I think I more commonly actually do the EMCEE, but I've seen it both many times. So yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. So that's as far as how I met CJ. I mean, I'm a coach as well. I hold an L2. I've been in the space for a long time.
Oh yeah, how's your L3 studying come? When's your due date? When you have to have the L3 done by?
I haven't scheduled it, and so I don't know. But I needed it yesterday. That was on my to-do, and it did not get done. But to actually just go ahead and schedule it. So yeah, I'm in the same stage as you as far as application was approved, and I need to just go ahead and schedule my test.
When's your L2 expire?
Not for a while. I think I got it in 2021.
Oh, it's
good. I guess, hang on. Actually, I guess it's not that long.
It's not that far. When you applied, it should have given you the date. It's needs to be done by this date. Maybe they just gave that to me because mine's 2 months away.
It gave me a full year. Okay. It must have done it for you because it gave me a full year after, which, by the way, on the weekend review that Dave did, he was talking about the L4 experience and the differences and how he hopes to have it launched by October. And yeah.
What is it? I have no idea. The L4 experience, is that what they're calling it?
No, sorry. But he was saying, I'm using the term experience because he was just saying that it sounds like it's going to be very different. They're going to potentially eliminate the in-person portion, and instead of it just being but maybe, and we could go to the weekend review and confirm that. I think he was saying it's definitely going to be different. And I think it's going to be a lot more collaborative was his idea of instead of just judging you as a coach, that they're going to work with you to make you better. That was kind of the thoughts he was sharing.
That's way too long. We'll talk about it next time. All right.
What, the weekend review?
What are we talking about this morning?
What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's too long. I don't know. You had topics.
Oh, I do. Yeah. Let's... Where do we want to begin? Well, as far as stuff that's accumulated over the past week, I mean, there's a few things on Dave's weekend review. We could definitely go there first. 4 minutes in, do you want me to do that? Bring that up?
I can do it. Just tell me where to go.
4 minutes in, he talks about an idea that I guess he's been toying with. And then you've heard the Savon crew talk about going out there and testing being able to live stream and stuff like that. I wonder if that is kind of the same thing that they're talking about.
Just a thought. So I think a max height box jump is something really cool that should be tested. I don't know if it should be tested at the games, which leads me to this
I like
concept.
a max box jump, by the way. I think it's a fantastic test. I think it should have been tested at some point at the games. Anyways,
playing with a week ago, and the working title is not the CrossFit Games. And I'm thinking about an event or a concept that is out of season, possibly in November or December, where you bring the top athletes in, and it's not the CrossFit Games. And what that means is we can do a lot of fun stuff and cool stuff and test something like a max height box jump, test a softball throw or a javelin throw, test a broad jump, test a 40, test, a bunch of other kind of non-traditional movement things or physical things, a max L sit hold, something like that even. Things that you typically, even though we've done something like that at the games years ago, L sit hold, things that you typically wouldn't see in the games, but are still cool things to do with this cohort of individuals with the fittest alive. And it wouldn't be for the title of the fittest alive. It'd be just kind of like an expedition where the top athletes
expedition
being tested in things that we wouldn't do at the games. So the not CrossFit Games, playing around with that, thinking about how I'd pull that off, thinking about who I'd invite, meaning like, would it be the top 10? Would it be the top 20? Would it be top 5? And thinking about no fans, just kind of made for TV. So I've been playing around with that concept. I think it'd be really fun. It'd be really cool.
Cool. Is this dense updates? Yes, it is. Since before Jenny was doing dense. Granted, she has a lot more watchers than I do. Anyways, all right. This is interesting.
You need to up your
when the time is,
controversy.
right? You know when the time is, right? Like this proposed time is in the middle of WFP finals.
Oh, I did not think that through. But I think that this aligns with, they've been kind of going out there and taking a look at different stuff. So it seems like they've been working on it for a while. And maybe, yes, that's probably, I don't know, maybe that's been in mind the whole time.
Or so the Invitational. I mean, the Invitational was CrossFit, right? Like as a team, I would say so. WODprep SoCal is pretty much the Invitational, reincarnated. But I mean, I'm always down for more competition. Put the best 10 in there and stream it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, why can't we test some of those things at the CrossFit Games? I think is probably a question. I think maybe they're too niche. Javelin throw will be a terrible idea. For sure, someone's going to tear a labrum. Like without a doubt. That's the worst idea. Maybe a baseball throw is better. Yeah, 40. I mean, I'll always watch people compete.
Yeah, so. Be interesting. There's a guy here in Austin, Texas that just launched his own thing, and Hannah Black actually won it. She's local. And so CrossFitter won the women's. It was just the very first whatever, and he's calling it Apex, but they're testing all of those types of things. And it's like athleticism is I don't know exactly, is the test or whatever. I could pull it up. But anyway, I mean, it sounds like an interesting concept, and maybe the reason they can't do them at the games I don't know, is like you said, maybe there's risk, or maybe just the tests don't suit the spectacle that he wants it to be or whatever, and so separating the two.
I mean, I think a baseball throw is, because you can throw a baseball from here, right? But a javelin is like, there's so much technique. It would be like saying, let's do a shot put, right?
Yeah, I certainly have never done that.
So anyways, I mean, I'm always down for the softball throw. I think the softball throw is fine. The problem with the softball throw, right, is it's a skill in and of itself, like a unique developed skill over time, right? I don't think it's a test of fitness, right? Maybe of athleticism. I also think athleticism and fitness are different things.
Right.
I've had this conversation on here before. There are plenty of very fit people at the CrossFit Games, but athletics are correct. Athleticism, it tests true athleticism, and I agree. But athleticism is not fitness. No matter how they explain it and what they say about like Olympic lifters being athletic, I get it. They're fast, they're dynamic, etc. But agility, directional change, hand-eye coordination, like some of them don't have it. That are the highest level in our sport, right? And so I don't think athleticism and fitness are the same. I think they're completely different. Right. The athlete can go out there, pick up a ball, blah, 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 but the athlete can't go run a marathon, and the athlete can't go clean and jerk, 400 pounds. So maybe they can if they've done clean and jerk in general. They can't do bar muscle ups. They can't do muscle ups. They can't handstand walk. Well, they could probably handstand walk. Most of them can. But in general, they're not. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are fit, right? So I don't know if it's the right test. So, anyways, yeah. I don't know. I mean, Dave always has these ideas, and they just ruminate, and they never really amount to anything, unfortunately, just because they get busy with other stuff.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, just as they have been kind of trickling out they've been up to something. So if this actually did come to fruition, and especially if it wasn't too much on him, like you said, he stays busy. So if it wasn't a heavy lift on him, and if it was something that the Savan crew, which he didn't reference in this here, but they've obviously been hanging out scheming. So if they were to wind up taking up a lot of the work on it, then maybe it could come to fruition.
Yeah.
Definitely would just be another thing especially if it was those top athletes in our space, then it'd be another thing to add to their calendars.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think people would train for that. I mean, I guess they would.
Right.
But.
Yeah, it was a good conversation that Coach L had with Pedro Coffee Pods and Wads about the whole, did you listen to that? You know where I'm headed?
I did. No, I'll let you go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
No, I just thought that Pedro kind of looped it around and made a great point of the fact that they may structure their training to be peaked or optimized for a specific test, CrossFit Games, but then they're still going to try hard at everything that they go and do. So in the moment, they will still give very hard efforts. However, all of the other factors surrounding leading up to that, et cetera, may not be as optimized, if you will.
So I'll push back on that and say Jason said almost the exact opposite thing on Boys Interrupted yesterday. And he said, because James asked the question, do you have to defend? Or is it okay, if you lose rogue, right? And Jason thought about it for a second. And he literally said, he goes, I'm going to go and perform hard, but I'm not worried about it because it's not the same training, design, and build up and focus of everything else. And so that right there, not that it makes it null and void, but it makes it less important, right? So, which means that it's more of an exhibition, not expedition, an exhibition, Dave, an exhibition like he wants to do I feel like he had to do that on purpose. Anyways.
He said exhibition. He didn't say
he said expedition. He said expedition 100%. Oh,
okay.
100%.
I missed that.
And so then it's like, all right, so what are we looking for? So you're not worried if you don't win. So if we just talk about W, if you're not worried if you don't win, you already got paid. If you win or lose, what's the it did start on KT, but I don't think Dave I think Dave just misspoke. I mean, I don't think he actually accidentally said it or said it on purpose. Maybe he did. Maybe because he was referring to Savan or whatever. Anyways. Yeah, I think for L in that, I mean, it makes, I don't know. I mean, it makes sense. You can say it. I also feel like I don't know. I feel like he just beat around the bush. I feel like I didn't get anything out of that podcast.
Really?
Yeah, not really. I mean,
I think you got good insight into his disposition in general. I think that there was.
Oh yeah, I mean,
a lot of kind of
stoicism. Yeah, 100%. Very, I will say
no,
that
he didn't share much more than that.
I will say that coaching 37 athletes as your lowest ever and being up to 57, which is what he said, is absolutely insane.
Elaborate, because he did say that a lot of them, that's kind of templated almost. I don't know that they use that term, but he
No,
did say a
that's what.
number
No,
of.
he said that's not it. He said it's the opposite. Everyone is individualized. He said if someone's going through a muscle up progression and another person's going through a muscle up progression, they'll be really similar.
Right.
Which I
And
call.
that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, I mean, I call bullshit. I mean, you're not individualizing 57 people, or you're not giving feedback. Like if I didn't have to give feedback to anyone,
Uh-huh.
all I had to do, but then again, like how do you coach without giving? I just don't know how you can. Like I know they have levels of their service.
Mhm.
Like they have like an individual person and then like a reduced that says it's not individualized, but it's like coached. I don't know how you can even do it. I mean, they undercharge. They hurt I think they hurt the field, but I just thought it was really interesting. I think it's way too many people. It's insane. It's crazy. I mean, I'd love to coach. I'd love to be able to coach effectively 57 people. I'd really just like the paycheck of that. That'd be a lot of money. Bro, that'd be a fuckload of money.
Well, it does depend on your level of involvement for sure. And I don't feel like there was a bunch of clarity around what that actually really is, other than.
I mean, he made it seem like it was individual coaching, right? And that's the problem, is that that's what they're going to sell it as, even if it's not that. But if they're selling it as that, then they're going to create the view from the public of, okay, that's what this is and that's what it should cost, right? Which is potentially this lower priced item, right? And a lower quality, lower service, and then it hurts the rest of the field. I mean, they're undercutting, which is very frustrating. But yeah, I can't imagine 57 people. That's crazy. Even if
I mean, to be doing like really, really individualized and lots of feedback and so on, that's a ton.
Yeah, I mean, even if you did 30 minutes a person, we're talking 30 hours a week, right? Like if you dedicated, and I don't know if anyone actually realizes this, but 30 true work hours where like you're like in it working is not the same as a 40-hour work week, right? Like working from 8 to 5 is totally different than actually putting in 30 hours of like direct worked labor. Like even labor workers don't work for 8 hours a day, right? Like they like walk from that. Would like the theory of that would be like they're turning a wrench or like hitting a nail gun for 7 hours of their 8-hour shift every day. And they're not. They like move or like they'll go get water and like that's all paid, right? Like that's all part of their pay, in general. And even not including a lunch break, like there's work, like a direct in the computer typing for 30 straight hours would be absolutely insane. Yeah, but Sean, so Sean's been on 710s. It seems like you have been working a ton, but like in that 10 hours, I'm not saying you don't work, but like it's like it would be like if you're an electrician, it would be like spinning wire for 8 straight hours. Like there's time, like even within the 10-hour workday, right? Like it's like you work for 20 minutes in a piece and then you stop and then you think about it, whatever, and then you come back to it. And it's not like you're actually like in there just like moving wire, right? And like being an electrician like the entire time nonstop for the 8-hour day, right? Like there's little breaks here and there. But if you had to coach for 30 straight hours, and I'm not saying it's harder, like don't get me. So like, right, Slater, you don't count. You sleep on your 24-hour shift, so I don't even want to hear it. So like it's and I'm not saying coaching is harder. Like don't get me wrong by any means whatsoever. But I've been trying to figure out why a 40-hour work week, like I think the grass is greener sometimes. So no matter what, I have like 18 to 20 hours of coached work every week, like actually in there giving feedback, talking to my athletes, and writing program design, right? And so that's never going to change no matter what, and that's the same amount of time every week, right? Maybe sometimes it's a little
when you
less,
say
like
it's
if
never
they're
going to
competing
change,
this
what do you
week.
mean? Is that because you cap out at a certain point, or why is that never going to change?
No, but if like that doesn't change that only changes based on the load of the athletes.
Sure.
Right. Like, so, and so to think that someone is going to do double that, right, at 57, which is double what I have right now, is at 30 minutes a person, right? Even if they're really easy, right? And you're just writing, it just doesn't compute, right? There's a lot of there has to be some copy and pasting going on, or quite a bit, and that makes me sad, because that's not what this profession's about. It's shitty. And it's not just right at L. That's to anyone that's coaching that many people. Like, people could say they work really hard, for sure. There's no question that people do, and I'm not trying to downplay anything, but like to just like take a 40-hour work week and assume that you're working the entire 40 hours is crazy, right? That means you're not talking to friends, you're not socializing at the water cooler in the corporate job, right? That would be like writing an email for 40 straight hours is what that would be like, right? And that would just be insane. And that's basically what it is. And so I can't imagine that's happening, which means that some people are getting like 5 or 10 minutes.
You said there are like 20-ish hours that are dedicated to the actual writing of the programming, the communication with the athlete, et cetera. But then also there are all these other roles, which I know that you're a part of. Some like WODprep has people to help with sales and marketing and things like that. But even just your own like time for inspiration, right? Like you got to spend some energy coming up with, which I guess maybe that's taken into account with that 20 hours, but
no, that's just my programming. That's somewhere in the 15 to 20, depending on like this week's easier because I have some people traveling and like they're competing at the CrossFit Games, right? So, but now I'm here.
Yeah,
right,
you're not writing their programming this weekend.
Right,
someone
exactly.
Else is.
Or next week. Yeah, exactly.
But you're writing all their warm-ups and everything like that.
Right.
So you're still very involved in that process, and there's still a lot of work for you to do, even for those athletes.
Yeah. And so all I'm getting at is I can't imagine being at 57 and not doing a copy and paste to somebody. Like there's just, anyways. Right. Yes. Everyone gets it. So like Slater worked 24 straight hours as he watched me and Claire in bed.
Literally.
He was
working. Okay.
Strange.
He was working.
So yeah, I couldn't imagine it, right? Like I feel like my week is pretty dense already. And so like, oh, your workload is going to double, not including my meetings or all the other stuff. So anyhow.
So you felt like some level of that was like disingenuous, or maybe that's too aggressive, but it wasn't clear enough on what that actually is. And you just don't you don't buy into the idea that it's individual, which that's the difference, is clarifying the level of service.
Yeah, correct. And I think that's important to do, right?
For sure.
But when you can leverage and ride the wave of James Dallin and Jason,
and there's, the truth is, like you said, as a coach, like how many people can you actually take on and give thoughtful programming to?
Yeah. And so everyone's
as a
different
human.
levels, right? And there's different levels too, right? Like I certainly have people that take me 10 or 15 minutes a week because that's all they need. They don't need feedback. They don't need communication. And so I have those people,
and those are classified as one-on-one for you.
Yeah, it's still one-on-one. I mean, they came in and they knew what the deal was. I sold them on exactly what the product is, and then this is what they need out of the product, right? But yeah, but I mean that product is the same, and it's the same. And so if they're like, hey, I want to be like this, and I need all this more feedback, blah blah blah, and I don't know. Then it would actively change with that, but that still would never get to 57. That would be insane.
A high volume.
I'd have to,
I think cool to see if you could just like take the veil back and see what like every single coach.
I 100%. I want to take the veil back
on
everybody.
One-on-one level. Yeah,
I'm so interested to see what everyone does.
Right?
Yeah, like, and this is the other thing. Also going into that, like. Elle made a really interesting statement and that I didn't agree with at all. He said, like talking about Danielle and her success, and he goes, it's her success. It's not my success. And that to me is the craziest thing that you could ever say, because like my athletes, like I'm invested in them. Like we are one, right? Like when they do terrible, I feel terrible. When they do great, I feel great. Right. And so, and some people say that's like, you can't control what the athlete does, and you can't, but I don't care.
You gave them building blocks the whole time.
Well, it's not even that. Like, I'm not saying like you should be like, you should think it's because of you. It's not because of you. Like you support, you support them, but like their success is your success, right? And being committed to them and being in like, I couldn't imagine being that disassociated or that compartmentalized with my athletes. Like, it's just not me as a coach. Like when they're hurt, like it sucks, it makes me sad, right? And like when they do really, really well, like I get emotional with joy because I'm super stoked for them because I know how hard they've worked, and we've worked hard with them. You know what I mean? And so like that statement that it was like, would you like if Danielle, like Pedro asked the questions, if Danielle would have won the games, would you have felt funny? 100%. To say no is so silly. He's like, oh, it's already done. I mean, it's the mature thing, but like that's such a
I was going to
crazy
say, I think it's practicing humility. And do you actually believe that like there's no, I mean, because anyway, I don't think he was so detached. I don't think he was, as much as he's just got that stoic temperament.
Yeah.
I don't think that he thinks that he had nothing to do with any of it. That didn't come across to me. But I think it's actually going to be fun. I'm hopeful to be able to observe you observing your athletes this weekend too, just because so often if we're in the same, like we got different roles and I'm not focused on what you're doing, et cetera, because we're doing other things. But to see, do you like while they're competing, do you get rather emotional?
100%.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
I match their energy. I match what they need. Right. Like I match what they need. And then when they're on the floor, I try, if they're seeing me, I match what they need. And if they're not seeing me, I'm absolute apeshit crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm the loudest one there for sure.
Yeah. You see Jody's question?
Yeah. Jody, do you mean physical therapy? Is that the question? Or like in-person personal training? Which I sort of do both. In-person personal training is super tough. I don't have a gym space anymore. Well, I don't rent space at the gym. I just do the garage. The garage is a full gym, so it works. My schedule is so crazy though. I basically have a 6-hour window every day where I like try to fit in all of my stuff from like 9 to 3 when I drop Bennett off to when they get home, which is not a lot of time.
The communication, all
programming, and I have meetings every day, right? Like we do, like I'm involved in all of our marketing meetings and programming meetings. And so, and then I do some like mentoring, and we do some live calls, or if I have a podcast, they're in the middle of the day. It's one of the main reasons why I don't podcast in the middle of the day is because I just don't have the time. Like I would love to podcast at 1 instead of 7 a.m. every day or a couple days a week. But so my style of physical therapy transitioned to this online design years ago, like almost immediately when I started. I treated in person, and I still do every now and then. They come through like the Movement Doctor portals. But for the most part, my physical therapy is remote, and it's the same exact design as my one-on-one coaching. They're just hurt. And so we implement it that way. And so we've done remote rehab. That's how our one-on-one coaching started at WODprep, was remote rehab in 2017. So I convinced Ben to let me do remote coaching. He said no. I said yes. We fought about it. He gave in, which he usually does because I'm more persistent than he is. And so that's how our one-on-one coaching started. Rose competing this weekend, and Jen, both of my athletes competing this weekend, came to me Rose came to me for shoulder pain in 2018, getting ready for the 2018 CrossFit Games. She was doing comp train at the time, which every masters did back then. And so I would modify comp train to fit her pain situation. And then after the games, she hopped on my programming as like a coach aspect, a training aspect. And then Jen came to me in a sling 3 years ago, maybe in September, almost 3 years now, post shoulder debridement. We've been to the games twice with her. So Rose has had shoulder surgery too, in our tenure, and knee surgery. So those things happen, but we're back at the CrossFit Games. So yeah, so that's what we do primarily. That's our unique thing is we deliver a rehab and training package as one deliverable, right? So like your rehab and your program design, your training, performance based is all one training plan. And so that's where we do it different, better than Active Life and better than any other PT that you guys think knows CrossFit, because they don't.
Why did you ever go clinical at any point, or did you go straight to this coaching model, if you will?
Yeah, that's a good story. So I got licensed, and I have a lot of good stories. Like, as you learned yesterday. As you learned yesterday, you just got to ask the right questions. Because I am an open book. Anyway, so I graduated August of 2016, and I created this like thing, the Movement Doctor, right? That like initially, like right then. In August of 2016, my buddy Kevin, who at the time owned Mako CrossFit, got married. We went to a bachelor party, and we got hammered drunk. And him, Brandon, and Seth, the owners of Mako, were like, "Do you want to open a clinic inside of the gym?" And I was like, "I don't want to do anything more." And I called my wife at like 11:30 at night, blackout drunk. Like, "Hey, we're moving back to Pensacola." She goes, "Why don't we talk about this any other time, like literally any other time than right now," and hung up on me. And I was like, "Okay." So anyways, I studied for boards. I got licensed in October. We were in Orlando, and I was working on a temp license leading into that, like 10 hours a week. And they gave me a job, right, at $32 an hour. And even in the PT world, which is decent, it was low. Like, it was shit pay, right? And I worked on my true license for 7 days. Started on a Monday, worked the week. The next week was Thanksgiving week. We were going to leave for Thanksgiving, so I could only work till like Thursday. I worked Monday. I got up Tuesday morning, and I told Perrin, I was like, "I'm not doing it. I'm going to go open the Movement Doctor." And this was like November 20th. And that day, I put my dresser into my truck, and I drove back to Pensacola, and I opened the Movement Doctor the next day, or I tried to figure out whatever that looks like. And so that video is still on my social media of me walking into like a space of nothing. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about like law. Like, I didn't know anything about anything, right? And I was like, I'm just going to open a business.
You
so
went
I
to
took
school
that month
for physical therapy, so you knew that.
Yep. Well, fun fact, that's all you need to open a physical therapy clinic. Like, it's not like opening like a food parlor, like food or like beautician or anything like that. Like, there's no like legal, like there's no rules behind it. You can just operate. You just have to have like a business tax receipt. And so it actually is pretty easy, which was nice. And so then I worked inside of the CrossFit gym, and I had a place inside of a CrossFit gym for years, but I went to the online concept pretty quick. Like within a year, I was doing remote, like some sort of like online design delivery, because initially I was like very like one and done. Like, you'd come in, I give you an evaluation, and I give you your protocol, and then that would be it. Because I hated treating. I always thought treating for physical therapy was stupid. Like, it doesn't make any sense, especially in our field, because I never did hands-on care. Like, I never did manual work. I was I was vehemently against it, and I still am. And that was my whole social media push, was like, manual care is like, it creates dependency. It doesn't move the needle, right? It's sensory based, and so like, it doesn't actually create change. It pigeonholes your athletes, it handicaps them, blah 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 blah. Like, that was my whole thing. So all I do is I base everything on exercise. And so everyone that comes in is everyone that's in this chat. I don't need to fucking watch them do calf raises, right? Because they gotta like Achilles tendonitis, right? And so I also don't need them to go do Murph with Achilles tendonitis, but they had a good day, and then they still make shit decisions. CrossFitters make bad decisions, but I don't need to know if they're at least doing what I'm giving them, because they will. They'll just do way more. And so I was like, well, I'm too type A. I'm very controlling in like how I want to manage a rehab situation. no one makes good decisions about actually training, and training is rehab. It's on the same continuum, right? Like your back squat PR could be Sean's rehab PR, but Sean also squats 400 pounds more than you, right?
Mhm.
And so like it's all in the same continuum. So why wouldn't training be the rehab with just a little bit of changes based on whatever your pathology and presentation is, instead of here's all your rehab shit and then here's all your training stuff that might have some changes based on your rehab? Why are they not one thing? And so that's what
Totally.
we've done since 2017.
Build it into one session is what you're saying.
Or just one delivery, right? Like it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be one session, but it's one thing, right? Like
Yeah.
your training is written based on what that is. And so now
Yeah.
your training is rehab, and now they're not separate. There's no rehab exercises,
Yeah.
right? Like that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Exercises are exercises. It's just
Yep.
why you're implementing them.
Right. And where you're at on the scale, depending on whatever it is, as far as
Right.
like what you have to give to it. Yeah. It's definitely been a really cool tool for me to have access to Jimmy, who has undergone many injuries and coached so many athletes through injuries. And so now I've had the opportunity to also do the same. And it's been really, really cool. And yeah, to like, I guess I do have a question for you on that as far as like, so you went to the online model. Do you feel today that you are able to be as effective, not that you cannot be effective online, but you can be as effective online as you can be in person? Like you said, if you weren't doing the like manual anyway, I guess with your video movement pattern feedback type stuff, you feel like that is sufficient if you're doing that bit, that you can still see the way in which they're moving even from afar? Or do you feel like you could be more effective in a one-on-one setting?
This is on the premise that the way they're moving is what's causing their pain, and that's never the case. So this is like the huge biomechanics being a driver of pain and injury, which is not how it works, right?
Okay.
It's how we want to think it works, right? And it's probably even like how like you do it. And again, I'm not like jabbing at you or Jimmy, because that's where everyone lives, right? That's like where everyone lives, of like movement quality equals reduced injury risk. And unfortunately, there's not a linear relationship there. And so like the unless it's like absolutely egregious, like it's not the case. Most of the people that I've ever worked with are great movers, and they have the most pain, right? Like they're the ones like I worked with a girl, games athlete, young, individual, regional, best mover I've ever worked, and she had pain, and she still does. Like she's struggled with knee pain and shoulder pain her entire CrossFit career, left CrossFit, left the military because she couldn't get over pain. And it's all like emotional and like psychosocial based always, right? Fear mongered, scared, all these other things that drive it. But she's a perfect mover, right? But she came in and she was like, oh, I need to do this. And I'm like, I don't want to use her name. I was like, you could be the James Hobart. Like you could be on all the videos. Like that's how perfect her movement was. Like it was perfect.
For what it's worth, whenever you said that that's the model that we work under, that was an assumption, and that's not correct. But keep going. I understand what you're saying, that is common, yes, but that's not
common.
what I.
And so like, but do I like? Is working in person better? For sure, it is, right? But $200 a session versus $400 or $500 a month, and you get contact every day, and you get communication with me every day. It's for sure better. Kyle, can you train a surgeon online? Yes, but they're going to be I mean, so we're talking about, I mean, this is apples and oranges here. This is not the same thing.
Right.
In general,
I don't think that there's like, you cannot be effective remotely. I don't believe that at all, because we've both seen that to be true, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious, if we take it back to that girl that's a beautiful mover that has the pain in her knee, et cetera. What do you guys do about that in her specific situation? I wonder if I'm digging too deep on these things, but
no, I mean, so like for her, right, it was never about the way
you're saying it's not about the way she's moving, right? So then what?
Right. It was always about volume. It was always about like life external stressors, right? Like when when stressors went away, then like her pain started to go away, right? And so there's like a lot of all these like psychosocial factors.
Yeah.
And so what I do try to do is I try to devalue and deprioritize like being hyper focused on biomechanics as like the only driver of pain and injury. They're a factor. They're certainly not the biggest factor most of the time, right? And the reason why that is, and we know that, is because, so say someone has back pain, right? Boom. It's insidious. It's not like you bend over and you have like a huge excruciating pain. It's like it comes on slowly. It happens when you do X, Y, and Z. And, but you've done X, Y, and Z for the last 10 years, but you've only had back pain for 3 months, right? So what happened in the last 9 years and 9 months? Like what was happening then? You've only probably even improved the way you moved in 10 years, right? Right. Because maybe at 10 years you were you were a novice and now you're more an experienced lifter or whatever it is. So you've only improved your movement, but now all of a sudden you have back pain, right? Well, everyone will look at it like, oh, well, you have this little like hip shift. And then like, oh, you can see your paraspinals are overdeveloped and you can see all these other things. And it's like, why, like when we lean so heavy into biology, we put ourselves inside of a box, right? And so then we get really narrow focused. And most of the time it's volume. It's always volume. Like 99 times out of 100, it's like exercise selection, volume, exposure, under recovered, and then belief, and then all the dumb shit that people tell athletes all the time is, as impactful, if not more impactful than like, oh, they don't have the most perfect textbook, like semi-lordotic deadlift, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, it's like how much time have you spent in those positions and how have you progressed them over the course of time?
Yeah. Exposure.
And then, of course, what is the current volume? Yeah. But no.
Yeah, we can talk about that all day.
I'm like, whenever you put me in that bucket, I'm jumping right out of the bucket. Don't do that. Because I'm not blaming that. I think that if you just progress it appropriately.
Avera Tetlow won crash. We know his name. Tetlow never made the games. He was on the demo team 23, or was he on last year?
Sounds good to me.
Was he on 24?
I don't think so, but maybe. I don't know.
He was on a demo team 23 or 24. He almost qualified in Granite Games one year. He's been a regional semifinal guy. He's down in Beach Brawl. I think he's out of Louisiana. So like he's in the Southeast last year. Okay. Thanks, Christian. So yeah, he was on demo team last year. An amazing online qualifier, very similar to Colton. A lot of great movement qualities, but will always struggle in person just from traversing A to B, right? That's what it'll always be, right? Or climbing a rope or whatever it is. So yeah, he is super fit. He waxed Taylor this weekend.
Yeah.
One crash and then one kill Taylor. Dude's having a solid 96 hours, right? So yeah, short, yeah, little guy. Yeah, little dude.
Was there a prize for winning that because it was the crash qualifier, right?
Right, yeah, you just qualified. Yeah,
was there a prize for like money for winning the qualifier?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder what, I don't even know where they are. I wonder what I didn't look at his scores. But if he won, that means that he smashed it.
That is interesting that detail of having to traverse really does change things.
Oh, yeah. It's huge. For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You looking up his scores?
I am. This one? Bam. There we go. Perfect. This was interesting. They said JR said he thinks someone could have a EMOM the whole thing, which would have been 300 reps, which would have been insane. They got close though, a lot closer than I thought they would get. Scott, man, dude, some of these guys are finishing that workout 15 minutes. Holy shit. Dude, these times are fucking bonkers. Let's see. 270, 261, 16. Can we reorganize for that? 13 minutes? Holy shit. That's got to be wrong. There's no way that's right.
Where are you? What workout are you on? 2?
I'm on 2. 13 minutes. That girl must be super strong. Super strong. That's crazy.
Who is it?
I have no idea. Riley Beebe? I've never heard of her. John would know her. Sub 4. Dang. Yeah, these times are crazy. People are fit, man. People are super fit. They always will be.
He did a really
Always
good job
blows my mind.
as far as on social media goes, just the cleanliness of the page, being able to access everything.
Oh,
Meaning
yeah.
like pinning things to the top so that way you could easily find the movement standards, qualifiers, the flow and scoring, all that stuff.
Right.
Making
Yep.
it really,
I wonder if he
you
used
don't have
the
to dig
movement
for it.
I wonder if he used the movement standards from Brent's thing.
Maybe. They had that show. Wasn't he on that one? Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe so.
Anyways.
So the boys interrupted. This is a different topic if you want to pivot.
Sure.
Yesterday, if you want to pull it up at all, although it's at the 23-minute mark. Do you want to pull it up?
Sure. I'll get there.
Okay. Yeah.
To golf.
I would use all of
The cool part was I got a lot of people saying that
Here,
their
pause for a
arms
second.
and like upper were the
Okay. This is in reference to the INW Classic that they just had that Sprague programmed.
Oh, that programmed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep going.
Are we watching it?
most
Yeah.
smoked. And usually it's like, oh my gosh, my lower body's just trashed after competition. So I liked the fact it was different in that sense. Like we did a lot of bench, dips, muscle ups, toe to bar, handstand, skier. Like there was a
Just to be clear, if that's exactly what they did, ski, bench, dips, muscle ups, it's already not a bias. It's already a terribly biased program. I just want to make
you
that
should
clear.
maybe you should go to their go to Competition Corner, see if you can find it and like look through the programming. I've given you something to get curious about. Well, and I don't know that we need to necessarily watch the whole bit, but it was cool. So he talks through being a part of that event in that way. And then Justin is also he has programmed the Mountain West Championship that's coming up October 10th and 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and then I think Sprague was there judging. I love the idea of the top level athletes being really involved with these local competitions in their area. And so whether that's, programming or judging or whatever it is, right? But I just thought it was cool that they kind of gave airtime to those things and are actually being involved at that level. It's really cool.
I agree. We'll see how well they program though.
Sure.
Again, this is very similar to, and this is like my skepticism, or maybe is just because you're an athlete doesn't mean you know how to program worth a shit. Like, and I'm not saying this about James. I like James a lot. And like, just because you're an athlete and you have bias and like you think you look at a program like this was dangerous or this was too whatever, right? Logistics come into play that people don't realize, and like there's restrictions and challenges that have to be assumed, and like you also have to understand like the level of your athlete that's there and things like that. So just because you're an athlete doesn't mean that you know how to program like at all.
Sure.
How many people qualified from the qualifier? 8 are qualifying, and he's invited everyone else. So a lot of invites. It's primarily invites. All right, let's look at this.
How many people total do that competition?
I don't know, 30 or 40.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a lot. That is a lot of invitations.
Yeah, it's a lot. All right, DT max out. So this was their lift. It was a round of DT for load. And then it has to be unbroken. So, which is kind of cool. I don't mind that. I'm not a huge fan of like this long and the main reason is things get super sloppy. Things get really sloppy when we have this long of a complex, kind of like a bear complex. And you can get really, really, really sketchy.
Yep.
Right. At least it's not going from the back rack to the front rack. I think WODapalooza made it clear that we're never going to do that again. After enough torn labrums of people missing the back rack, but fine. Not my favorite, just because it gets really sketchy, right? Like safety is also a big thing. And so It gets really meh. Okay. Upside down, 3 minutes on, 1 minute off. Ski, handstand push-up, handstand walk. So 40 cal buy-in. Round 1 is strict handstand push-ups. Round 2 is handstand walks. And round 3 is wall walks. Cool. If you're fit enough to do it, great. This is going to put people in the dirt. It's going to put so many people in the dirt that they're just going to be standing around doing absolutely nothing, right? But it is elite. So, you know, let's see. I wonder what people got on that. Upside down, 62 reps. I mean, that's a pretty hefty amount of reps. Are they here? Oh, here we go. We can do it here too. So vertical pressing, shoulder to overhead, vertical pressing, then bro sesh, another vertical pressing, dumbbell bench press, sandbag drag. I don't know what that is. See? There we go. Perfect.
I would imagine that's like a bear crawl situation.
Maybe. Oh, it's heavy though. I would think it's probably like like the carpet, like you're dragging that carpet thing.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So more pressing, row buy-in. Okay, we'll just kind of look at this. Thick and quick, toes to bar muscle ups, offset lunge. I like an offset lunge. I assume that's like front rack to overhead. Yeah, I love an offset lunge. 15, 30, offset lunge, 15. I like this workout. An out and back, vertical pulling, toes to bar. Still a lot of closing and opening of this shoulder girdle. And so.
Yeah, I think he said that it was very shoulder.
Yeah. And so the grand finale. So press, ring muscle ups, and overhead squats. I mean,
you see that was L-sit ring muscle up?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like a low ring muscle up. Hard, super tough. These guys are really fit. 5 minutes, and this 6 minutes? It's really fit. Some fit people here. Again, it's a lot of shoulder demand. Not my favorite as far as like balance and burpees, like a full sprint burpee. So every workout besides one had, even then it was bar muscle ups and toes to bar. So every workout had some form of like levering or pressing, probably bias to the shoulder. You know, I don't think we want to look through all of it, but
yeah,
we'll see. He seemed super excited about it and gung ho, which is cool. Programming is so much fun. And so, you know, I think the more people program, the more they'll learn, right? That CrossFit programming and like doing CrossFit is very much like the more you're exposed to it, the better, right? Like that you understand all of it from even like the more you coach it, the better you are as an athlete and you understand yourself as an athlete better and stimulus and things like that. So I think it's good for athletes to program competitions and be part of programming in general, right? I think it is important.
Yeah. I just think it's really cool that they're promoting. He referenced already looking to do something next at his home gym. And anyway, I love the idea of whether it's in that programming role, not necessarily speaking to that literally at all, but just being involved in any way. And the fact that you've got a couple of the guys that are leaders that are putting out content regularly, that are actively, heavily participating in their local competition stuff is super cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So just give them their flowers on appreciating that.
Yep. Renata, how do you know if it's good programming when positive feedback from athletes doing it or from people who analyze it? Well, that's a good question. So I think both of those have to be taken into account, right? So when we're programming an event, right, we look at like safety, right? In general, we just want to make sure that, you know, the things aren't going to go crazy, right? Spectator enjoyment, and this is obviously not in any order. Balance, and balance meaning like a movement selection, time domain, flow, and I guess that's it. Just those 4.
Yeah.
Right. So like you want to make sure that the people watching it are good. Right. And if the people watching it is there, then flow can come out. Right. Which is fine. But even then, it's nice to be able to see even for the athletes. Right. So you're really looking at balance from a movement selection, joint, like a joint use, right? Contractions, different types, length, power, endurance, speed, monostructural, weightlifting, gymnastics. So you're taking all of those into account in there. And so I think it has to be both, right? The athletes should feel like it was a good competition. If it was balanced, the athletes will feel like it's a good competition, right? So like I think those things are very synonymous. They're certainly not dichotomous like in nature, right? Like positive feedback from athletes and people who analyze it will usually be very similar, right? Those will usually not all the time for sure, but in general they will be relatively linear.
And for an in-person competition, like that's a lot to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
And it needs to happen. It's a lot.
Yeah, like it's not a hard thing to write. It's not hard to write hard workouts, right?
Right.
It's not hard, right? Like, we can just say 5 rounds for time, 10 muscle ups, 20 pistols, 30 GHD sit-ups. And we know all the things that's going to be there. Like that's a hard workout, right? Super challenging, right? And it's really similar to a workout we've done at in the quarterfinals, right? And so, like what does it look like compared to all the other movements? Like are we over biasing a joint, right? Or a similar movement pattern? Or are we like those workouts all in a vacuum from Sprague were fine, but like, is the shoulder now too at risk, right? Like when was the muscle up? Like when he said dips, I didn't see dips. Thank God. Dips in competition are silly. Like there's like a risk reward there of like speed and etc. I guess maybe from the muscle up. But when is it in the competition, right? Like, are you doing muscle ups to finish, but you've done a ton of bench press, right? Like now we're looking at like, all right, we're under a ton of fatigue. We're going to do this thing. Are you doing it weighted? Those kind of things too.
Yep.
Avera, I won't watch Legends. It is online to view on the Pit YouTube channel. Would be curious on the percentage of athletes who can complete pistols to standard. Of all the athletes, I think all the younger age groups will be fine. The weighted pistol does like at least help you get below parallel a little easier. I wouldn't say the movement is easier in nature, but it does help with the range of motion of the pattern because of the counterbalance, right? So to meet the standard, I think it'll be okay. Shoulders are going to be smoked and it's going to be slow, but I do think that might assist the standard like minimums a little bit better, but it's going to be a shit show. Pistols are stupid. There's really no other.
I anticipate the conversation to follow that event being interesting based on whatever happened.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark, this is a good one. Both of my athletes are foot grabbers, and the weight allows them to not have to be a foot grabber. Fun fact, because you can basically, because of the weight, you can sort of rock your hips back a little further, right? And so the demand, how far you have to lean forward, is adjusted since there's a counterbalance, so their foot stays off the ground a little easier. So, yeah, I thought that too. I was like, oh shit, how are they going to do this? And then they did them, and I was like, oh, okay, there it goes. And they didn't need to, but pistols are stupid.
Avera did say he's referencing, or she, who? I'm sorry.
Avera is a male.
Great. Okay, that's what I thought. Anyway, yeah, looking for feedback after it's occurred, which will come. Right. One thing about 100%. CJ, he will have an opinion, and then we will have observed it.
That's right. All right. Anything else? Does anyone got anything they want to talk about? Do you got stuff?
Oh,
ouch.
I was going to mention that all of the talk about, and literally on our show last night, the promotion of the Masters Games on the other channels. And And
Yeah, it's coming out of nowhere. I just wish it was
there's
coming out
been-
for the last like 3 weeks.
They're going to have a live later today. And literally the
Yep.
title of that YouTube live that they're going to have is the age group CrossFit games are CrossFit. And
Yeah.
that's coming directly from the CrossFit channel on
That's
YouTube.
James.
So,
James is on that, right? Isn't that what you sent
yes.
me? Yep,
Yeah, I think
Hobart.
there were like 4 individuals, but he's the main guy according to the title. But I think they're gonna have 4 people on there. I think.
Sean, am I going to run a marathon this year? What is
Did you?
it?
You want me to?
No, I want to. I want to do an untrained marathon.
Oh God,
and
I've observed it. It seems awful.
it won't be this calendar year. The Pensacola Marathon is like in February or something. That's probably when I'll do it. So, so within a year's time frame, yes. I'm doing an untrained.
Why
marathon,
do you want
100%.
to do an untrained marathon?
I don't have the time to fucking run for hours a day, like ever. And so, I just want to tell myself that I can do it in like innovates too.
Okay.
So, Jeff, oh yeah, Amanda answered it. So I'm coaching Jen Makesh 45-49 and Rose Wall 55-59, and WODprep has also Janelle Connors in 55-59, Lynn Watt in 60-64, and Michelle Koetje in 70+. Koetje. I think that's how you say her name. Koetja.
Not a clue.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Welcome to my life. Did I tell you whenever I went up to Canada and emceed, and there were all of the the language that I guess the French names, right? Yeah, that was.
I bet that was hard.
It was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun to do, and then the last thing you want to do is just wreck shop on names. So we did the best
everyone's name. Yeah,
we did the best we could, and I don't think it was terrible at all, but it's
I I dropped into Proven yesterday.
Yeah, how was it?
It was good.
You took a class.
I took a class. What was the class? So we did the strength was 5 sets on the 3, max set of pull-ups, or a set of pull-ups at 50% of your max, into like 8 to 10 ring rows as like a muscular endurance back off. Great pump. I love that design of like hitting a strength piece directly into like an isolated piece for like hypertrophy and like forced adaptation with like a little bit of like muscular endurance in there. And then the workout was 4 sets on the 3. Set 1 was 15 cal air bike into 10 devil's press at 35s and 25s. Rest of the 3, and the second set was 15 cal row, 15 line facing burpees. Rest of the 3, and you went back and forth twice, and so like a full burner. It was good.
Yeah,
it was good. They went over on the class by like a couple minutes, which I'm never a fan of. But he did a good job. It was a lot to kind of go over because like I feel like our warm up was. They had a lot of announcements. We were at the whiteboard for like 8 minutes. 9 minutes. It was like a long time. We were going over a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that is a lot.
It's a long. It was a long. I was like, we're still sitting at the whiteboard, but he was talking the whole time too. But he managed a lot of people in class. There was like almost 20. Coach managed it pretty well. Yeah, good flow. That not a lot of coaching, but not really a lot to coach in that point, right? Like there's not, like the strict pull up. Maybe a little bit to coach. He gave some reasoning on like he doesn't like banded pull-ups. He did a toe spot pull-up like on a box. He feels like the banded pull-up is, what did he say? He said the banded pull-up, what was the analogy he used? I don't know. Basically that it doesn't work at all ever. And I was like, I feel like it works. I've gone through my waves of years of like thinking banded pull-ups are silly and that you can't progress off of them. And then I've walked it back, and you just have to be very structured with it. Use less band, it's stronger. But
Yeah.
the modification he had, this toe spot, basically you take a box, your head is still below the bar and you're fully extended, and then you give a little hop to pull yourself over. And I do like being over the box, like without support, or like chin over bar without support. But no one could do it right. Like he could do it because he was really strong and he could demo it. But everyone, once they got fully extended, they couldn't. They got to basically fully extended here, and then he wanted them to basically take this last little bit and pull their chin over.
Mm-hmm.
None of the people that were doing the box could finish the pull, and so like they would sort of hop and they would swing and then just come straight down. And I was like, well, I don't know if that one worked out quite as well as it anticipated. So I didn't like it. I mean, I've seen it before when the chin is fully over the box, but it just didn't work out really well.
So the box is under both feet?
Yeah, you have 1 foot toe spot. You have a toe spot going, you pull yourself up, and then that, like, basically you pull yourself to here.
Yeah.
And when you get to here, you're fully extended off the box.
And
right?
you don't jump.
And the goal is to basically be able to finish pulling and maybe
Sprint
give
it.
a little bit of a jump, but no one could do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like no one could, like all the people that needed that didn't have that strength to go from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt Frazier used banded pull-ups throughout his whole career. Did he say that? I like banded pull. I like banded pull-ups for volume, right? Like when I know that like my pull-ups are trash that day, but I want to get a lot. And it's so funny because like if you use like a 1/2-inch band or even an inch band, you're only getting like 20% more. You end up not getting that many more because the volume is so up there. Like, and I mean, I love banded pull-ups. I think they're great. We do banded strict chest to bars all the time for most of my athletes for increased range of motion work.
Mm.
So, anywho,
yeah.
Avera, do I have anyone competing? I think one of my coaches has a team competing there. It didn't go as well. The signups for them didn't go as well this year. For that, I was really surprised too. Like last year, they had like
where are we talking about?
At the games, they have another competition going on.
Okay.
Yeah, like tomorrow or whatever this weekend.
Yep.
A 3-person team competition, and last year it was really successful. Like they had a lot more teams. This year, it's like not even half as many signed up. I feel like the marketing behind it wasn't quite as strong. Maybe because the Masters Fitness Collective is doing the thing this year at some point too. They have like their 2-person team thing, and maybe that like interfered with it or something. But I felt like it missed the mark this year. Yeah, it was an interesting one.
Towards the end of Dave's Week in Review, he also apparently, I think there were a number of comments to the effect of bring the games, the age groups back to the games. And he did say, huh?
Did he comment on it?
He did, yeah. Yeah, it was towards the end of the episode, and it wasn't, the video, and it wasn't a long video, but I didn't get the timestamp.
Yes, max height box jump could be.
So I'd go towards the end.
Included. Or a wall with just a standard wall. The purchase there is much different than this wall where it's 15 holes. Outside of Rogue is on the other side of this wall. How you train on it or how you choose certain athletes were a little. I could see that happening for sure, and I believe that happened. But this idea that
I think it was before that.
Consistent.
I think it was the topic right before.
You're going to be good on this.
Usually he goes in order, doesn't he? No.
Of what?
Fit workout of the games, and what I mean by that is in the.
Usually this is in order, like he writes this in order.
Oh.
But if
leg board so her feet wouldn't slip. So
no, maybe you're right. I don't actually know that.
Understands me at least, where he can just like, hey, I'm not going to talk to the guy right now. Hey, I'm going to stand 5-10 feet away. And so half the time I don't even realize he's teaching to make you better. Dave, have you ever hosted a bachelor party at the ramp? That changed things up, and it's all part of the test. And at the end of the day, like the weight better on the snatch workout or the was to give us the ability was like the Madison venue and even the building.
Here we go.
Time.
Yeah.
But ran by the people running it this year. I think
it was not
towards the end. Thought about going to a venue with multiple buildings and mandating the age group to be at the same place at the games at the same time. But ran by the people running it this year. I think it'd bring more of a festival, Woodstock vibe back to the game like it's meant to be. Thanks. Yeah, definitely thinking about that. Definitely considering what it would look like. The thing here's one of the reasons why. Well, 2 reasons why we broke the age groups away. the ability to move from a venue like Madison, or the ability to find new locations to go when we had everything together, was really tough, because the infrastructure needed to house everything and run everything was like the Madison venue, and even the build out. I mean, I think people who went there realize this, but most people don't. That outdoor stadium we built from scratch. We took a parking lot. We actually grinded down we leveled out the parking lot a little, so the floor was level. Then we brought in the green matting. Then we brought in all the bleachers. So that was just a parking lot, and we built that from scratch. Then there was a stadium.
Which is
then there were
wild
hundreds of
to
thousands
think
of feet
about.
where the vendor village.
Yeah, they poured that concrete slab in
It
2017.
is so well done. Like that
So crazy.
is a really
that's
cool
nuts.
detail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And
that's
then I
no
also
small
think,
feat.
no, for sure. And this is the problem, right? Like I think this is a flaw in Dave's mindset, is that the games needs to move. I don't think it needs to move. Like, move it every 10 years. Like, who fucking cares?
Right.
Like don't move it. So it is more like another tradition is built. You know what I mean? Right?
Mhm.
Like, Madison got cooler, and I think it got better and better because, like, we got comfortable with the social life, like the night thing, and then we knew what was going to happen. Everyone gets more comfortable, and then people learn more what to do, right? When you go to somewhere new, like, every single time, yeah, you bring in a few of the people that might be local or regional or whatever, but for the most part, everyone's going to fly in, right? Like,
Mhm.
Like, that's just I don't think it needs to do this.
Well, and the campground
It wasn't.
components in Madison
Oh my gosh, don't.
Madison was so good.
Claire, don't get me started.
I know, it was
so
great.
amazing, dude. Camping was the best games ever, and I didn't
Yeah.
work that year. It's the only games I didn't work.
Did you camp or stay in an RV?
Oh no, we have an RV.
Okay.
We have a trailer. Yeah. No.
I did that, I think, 2 years there, and it was amazing.
On. No, we are not primitive camping. No way.
Well, they
Not.
have
We
the
have a baby.
option.
We have a baby. We have a baby. I don't know how people do it. Joe does it.
Yeah,
One of my
people
people. I know, it's fucking crazy. Anyways.
Thousands of feet where the athletes were. It was like, especially if we were going to build that outdoor venue, an ideal footprint for doing everything that we did there. The thing is, that's not scalable, or you can't replicate that across the country, or eventually, when we want to take it globally, across the world. So one of the main reasons we broke the age groups away from the individuals and teams was to give us the ability to move the games and to go to new venues and new locations, and specifically at some point internationally, with being able to open up way more venue options. And I think it did that for sure. Like, there's a lot more places we can go now because our infrastructure needs are definitely less. Also, the other thing is, we were running it all, and that was a massive week for our teams and our infrastructure. And actually, it turns out to be like a couple weeks because we had to come in so much earlier to conduct all of that. But this notion of what you suggest, basically bringing it to the same city, letting the in this case Legends, who runs it now, run it concurrently or nearby, or not concurrently, but maybe a couple days before. Yeah, definitely worth exploring. And I think, and I'll say this, we are exploring and taking a look. Okay, doesn't mean it's going to happen next year, but we're considering.
So, all right, I think this is like our last thing. I think the notion that splitting it off allowed for more venue is just under the assumption that that is going to for sure make the most money. That's the only reason why you would do that. If you sold out where you were, there's no reason to go anywhere else, right? Because it's going to cost more money, right? If you take it to Europe, it'll sell out. But again, it's just a tiny venue, right? It's not going to increase the viewers online. It's going to be the same thing. It might even decrease the viewers online, because if we go to Europe, it's either going to be early in the morning or potentially or if they go all the way to Australia, right?
Yep.
Like, you're going to lose a lot of concurrent viewers. So no matter what, North America is still the biggest viewer. That's like, we're still the primary of everything is, right?
Yeah, where it was born.
Right. So I hope they bring it back together, right? Like, they can see, I think the first year of Texas or 2024 was probably a unique year in the way ticket sales went, because Dallas it's just like a really big population there. But I think Albany is more likely what we'll end up seeing as far as ticket sales if they try to move it more regularly, because 50% of the people that are going to watch aren't going because their grandmother isn't competing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, grandmas and gyms and like the 50-year-old masters, like Rose would bring like 15 people and they would watch every year, right? Her gym, the gym that she owns, they would bring like 15 people. And now there's like 3 people coming to the Masters games because it was both, but there was 15 tickets, 15. Like that's a lot of people for one person that like has podiumed once in the age group, right? And so like people come, but like no one's traveling to just see Justin Medeiros. So just going to the CrossFit games, right? People do travel to see the Masters athletes and the teen athletes because they have a direct relationship with them, right? And the people that are in the gyms, like Lydia Fish, great example. They travel just to see her because she's in the gym and it's there, right? I think some of these bigger names have lost that connection. Right now,
they're moving back that direction.
Some of them are. I don't think Justin is. I think Justin is this. We've talked about this. I think Justin is disingenuous. I think he's lost his like down to earthness personally. Like when we camped, I camped next to his family and like I got to know them. They're great. But I always feel like there's like an ulterior motive behind Justin, and it's not to just be like the down to earth like the down to earth bro that he once was. It just doesn't seem like that anymore. Like it kind of seems like his fame.
We get a completely different read. I have yet to be able to observe anything that gives me that vibe at all. But I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I see it on. I just feel like I feel it in the tone, like on Boys Interrupted. You know, like the guys, they are training together. Justin's like, no, I'm not. Like I don't know. Just like it's just like the little tones here and there, right? Like and maybe it's just because he doesn't want to play ball in social media, and that bothers me. Like
I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it in any way. I think that he's such a bro with it. Maybe, I mean, everyone's different, right? But they're continuing to do more and more and more together. And and anytime people prop him up because he has performed extremely well and like deserves those flowers, then like he always comes off genuinely really humble about it. I don't know. I don't see it.
It's all right.
At all.
You can be wrong. It's fine. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeff, except
Jeff,
where I'm not, bro.
That's right. That's right. Good job. I'm good. Clap back. Jeff, I am driving. I'm in Kentucky right now. I'm in Bowling Green. I stayed the night here. I'm about to work out a little bit, and then I will make my way to Ohio.
You'll be there by end of day today?
Yeah. Meeting some family for lunch, and then I'll be there at 5, and then we're gonna go to CrossFit Grandview to do some training tonight.
Do we have somewhere planned for the week ahead in general, as far as doing fitness?
No.
Okay.
No, we have a booth. We have a whole thing at the booth. We'll work out every day. I did put the sandbag and like 2 pairs of dumbbells in the truck just in case we want to like get a little bit of bro session in the house. You know what I'm saying?
That was one of my favorite things about Dylan over at Beach Roll is like at the end of the day.
Dylan always makes everyone work out, right?
It's makes everyone invites people to. Absolutely. And I love that. I remember the first year that I worked at the games, I was working for Wit Fitness that year and I was doing 75 hard. And so I needed 2 different sessions. And so I would get up before the workday started. And then of course needed to like squeeze another workout in. And it was always fun to figure out like, was that going to happen in the spectator area or where was that going to happen? But it did need to happen. And so I freaking love that about Dylan is like, you can count on him to rally everyone that is willing to work after a long work day, which, is not everyone and that's fine. But I think it's really cool. I love that he does that.
The ticket prices are expensive.
So
again, just go ahead.
Aren't they? What are they per day? Like $80-something?
I have no idea. Okay. I think so. It's like as much as the games, but just remember, everyone's saying this: the Masters makes no money other than ticket sales. There's no TV money. The vendors are tiny, and they don't charge shit to be a vendor here. Like he way undercharges. That's the only reason why we are a vendor. Because it's a very, very, very reasonable fee to the point that I know that they're probably not making any money. And so this is the only way that they make money is through ticket sales. CrossFit doesn't make any of their money on ticket sales.
That would be a good question to ask him. Why is if vendors are not being charged that much, what was the idea behind that? Because of course that's not
Volume.
what you see elsewhere.
Right, volume. He wanted to give it opportunity for more people to be here. Smaller,
That's
more
it.
regional stuff. Yeah, we've talked to him about it.
Okay.
Well, we can ask him again. Like we can get it on there, but they did that on purpose. Because like we're a vendor, like we're not just a sponsor. Like we're a sponsor, not a vendor, right? And it was very cheap, and we got our name on a spectator floor.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Aaron, I'm driving because I have the entire booth in my truck. My truck is down there, it is fully loaded down, and I drove. So like all of our like pop-ups and backdrops and shirts and goodies and shit. If you guys are going to be at the Masters Games, by the way, head over to the WODprep camp. You guys, if you spend some money, you can get our brand new, like very unique or not unique, single run, no, exclusive coffee mug, which we're really excited
Way
about.
to work for that.
I found it. Shut up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, and there will be challenges in the booth each day as well. So there will be stuff going on.
Yep. So, all right, I'm going to work out before I get on the road. I got like 30 minutes. I got to clean or pack up.
Cool.
Sick. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
I know, that's cool. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to see anybody that's in the chat. We'll be there, of course, all weekend. So anybody that's here that will be at the event, I'm excited to either see you again, Jeffrey, or meet you guys.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, Jeff. Guys, thanks a bunch. Thanks for being here. Watch the Masters CrossFit Games. They start in 2 days. We'll do a podcast for sure tomorrow with Joe and Bob. Hopefully, in person if we can figure out all the internet stuff. And we'll have a booth there. If you're coming, come on down, come hang out. Ben will teach you some muscle ups or double unders or something, and we'll be coaching, and yeah, it'll be good. I think Sean and Chase are announcing. They're streaming it on the Pit Teen Throwdown channel.
Yep.
It's a lot of words. And I think that's it. Cool. All right.
Yep.
Busy day ahead. Busy week.
Are you starting to set up the booth today? Sorry. I'll start tomorrow.
I don't know. I would like to get it all out of my truck. I'd really like to get to the venue to figure out the fucking internet and power. I'm really nervous.
I think can you just reach out to them directly today?
I did.
Okay, good.
But no, I've reached out to them for the past month, and I haven't had anything back. So.
Okay.
So, yep. But I messaged Joe, and I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Here's the screenshot." I was like, "Hey, what is it? This is like the internet's costing more than the booth costs, man. Like, what are we doing?" If that's the case, though, we will be setting up at the house for sure.
Yeah. I think it's going to work out, though. Based on the needs for it, I think it's going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have internet. Like, Joe, just give me a password. I just need to piggyback for like 2 hours a day. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, log me in, brother. Log me in. I need one camera, one computer. That's it. I don't need nothing crazy. Anyways, small team. The team's actually pretty big. How many people do we have? Me, Ben, Claire, Ashley, and our coaches. So Lando, Melissa, Nelson. We have 7.
I was going to say, I know when we had the call, it was like nearly 10 people.
Yeah, on the call. But yeah, we have 7. 7 will be there. Oh, 8. Travis. Yeah, we have our photographer, videographer there too. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. Sick. All right, guys. Thanks so much. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye-bye.